man. Woo! Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Hi everybody, welcome to Khong Driving, and yes, this is the Corolla Cross. We've just come up the mountain and we are now in a very nice and cool atmosphere to show you what the car is all about. Well, first of all, it's a 1.8 liter SUV. It's a crossover, and this is the crossover that's probably the most highly anticipated vehicle that the Malaysians are waiting for. And the good news is the first 750 units are here on a bridging CKD package, so you will get CKD prices, and the local assembly will happen towards the end of the year. So siapa cepat siapa dapat. Yeah, okay, so what does this have? It's front wheel drive. It is based on the Corolla. Basically, it is wider, it is higher, but a little bit shorter. And why is it shorter? It's because they need to reduce the wheelbase a little bit in order to have the same type of handling as the Corolla has. And this is also based on the TNGA platform, but there is a small little sacrifice they had to make. They put in a torsion beam at the back, but this torsion beam is something else. It's totally new, and the car, I'm glad to say, handles really good.
Look at it go, man. Woo! Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Most important thing that you will note when you sit in this car is how comfortable it is despite how fast I'm driving. The heart of the Corolla Cross is a 1.8 liter double overhead cam engine. Okay, and I think this comes from the Corolla Altis. That's why it's called the Corolla Cross, right? Okay, so what you see here is if you look at the engine from the line of the front axle, it sits directly on top of the front wheels, so that's good for balancing. So nowadays balance is very important, and what's in front of here is just the radiator and the intake, so there's not much weight in the front. So in terms of weight distribution, the Corolla Cross is good, and you can see from our Genting video, the hill climb, that the handling is really good. And of course you see that the engine sits low down even though it is a high body. All the weight that matters is at the bottom. Yeah, the chassis is low down, and that is part of the nomenclature or the build of the TNGA chassis. And of course you also want to know where is the intake. Yeah, very interesting. The intake box is here, but the actual intake is through a series of tubing up to here, and for a strange reason they have this very long tube here, and the intake air actually comes from here, and there's a guide that actually shows that the air comes from here, right above the bumper. Well, this is what you call a cool air intake. It helps the power a little bit, but for Malaysian roads you want to know what kind of water level you can go. Okay, so the intake is here, so for crossing water just make sure that it is below the bumper, which makes it about 18 inches. Yeah, so having said that, there are also undulations in the road. If you want to cross water, best to have maybe half tire lah. So the gearbox is down here on the passenger side, and it's a 7-speed CVT. And as mentioned before, CVTs have come a long way, and even from 2-3 years ago, I already said that the Corolla had a very good CVT gearbox, one of the best ones around. Okay, looking at the car from the front, Toyota says that they have this double trapezoidal grille, and here you see some flattened, what do you call it? Okay, and here you see what looks like flattened honeycomb, but yeah, it's some kind of honeycomb. And to me, it looks okay. I'm not so much for looks, but I think this type of look will grow on you. You know, it's not something that's very flashy, but it's not something that's overly uncle, and it's not something that's very, very young either. So this, to me, is something that somebody in the late 20s to 40s or even the 50s will appreciate. So this is a shape that will grow on you. So next, of course, we have the lights. For the G spec that we are looking at, you get halogen, and this is actually halogen projector lah. For the V spec, you get LED. Okay, so if you are not a very, very high speed driver and you don't hit like 200 kilometers per hour, and then you really don't really need LED. But of course, this car can only hit 185 lah. It's a 1.8 liter 7-speed CVT, and to me the front looks okay. And of course, you get this cladding that goes all the way around the sides and along to the back, and this is the cladding that makes this a crossover. Yeah, so in case you go into a bit of the boondocks and you get this scratched, you can actually replace them. Okay, wheels are 17 inch, and you get ventilated disc in the front. This is a floating caliper, single caliper. The G spec gets 215/60 R17, and these are Bridgestone tires, which is good. And V spec goes 18 inch. They get 225/50 R18. But other than that, the build is the same. Yeah, so for the G spec, you actually just get smaller tires. Now to me, I would be fine with the G spec, and if I really want to be fussy, I'll get a set of 18-inch rims and fit it on, and it will look just good, right? Okay, now the front are McPherson struts, as with most of the cars nowadays, and let's have a look at the back. So along the sides, you go to the back and you get, voila, you have solid disc and a single floating caliper. Of course, tires are the same size, and at the back you can see here, but maybe it's a better view from the back, this is the new torsion beam arrangement that Toyota have put into the Corolla Cross. Why torsion beam? What is more important in a vehicle like this is actually space, right? And if you have a double wishbone arrangement here, like in the Corolla, you will sacrifice a lot of space on the inside of the vehicle. Okay, there are some vehicles that run double wishbone arrangements at the back. They are very good, yes, but people will complain about the boot space. So this one has 440 liters. That is with the rear seats up, but with the rear seats down, you get a lot more. So space is a very important feature in a vehicle like this, and that is probably why Toyota chose to go with the torsion beam. Having said things about torsion beam, this torsion beam is actually really surprising. Okay, those of you who watch my hill climb video will hear me sing praises about how actually the car is so comfortable and how it can actually handle so well. And well, anyway, technology is growing so fast. Torsion beams are so different from what we know of them from the previous days. Same thing with the CVT. They're getting better and better all the time. So, well, give it a chance, guys. All right, let's move to the other parts of the car. Very nice lights. They are not LED, but the good thing is the height is very high, and these are sculptured very nicely. And if you go backwards and look at it, the shape is actually quite pleasant. Okay, so the most important things at the back are of course lights that are high, brake lights, and also the rear wiper for you to clean the car. But also an item of convenience is of course you can open the boot. There you are, and also you can stop the height, yeah, where you want it to stop. And there's a tonneau cover at the back for you to make sure people don't see all the stuff you have in your car. And of course the boot will also close. You can press it to close, or you can just do the easy thing. Just put your foot down there and it closes. There you go. Okay, so I've actually locked the car. You can of course always use the key fob, but there's a little hole here. Do I unlock the car?
Why is it like that? Hand in.
Oh, thanks. That was Yap Kung Fu. Put the hand in like this. You learn new things every day. Okay, the driver gets an electrical seat that is adjustable for 4.5, the height, and also, of course also the rake. Okay, and as for the co-driver, it's mechanical. Sorry, but well, this is a very reasonably priced car, yeah. And of course you got a push button start, and most important is you have the ability to adjust your steering wheel for reach and also the rake, right? Of course it's also mechanical, and driving position is very nice and good, high visibility. And of course the TNGA platform also makes the visibility very good, including this extra little quarter glass that allows you to see out to the sides of the car. Okay, instrumentation is very simple, classy looking. If you look at it very carefully, most of the stuff is from the Corolla. In fact, I think all of it is from the Corolla. Yeah, and this also saves a lot on development cost and time. That's why they call it the Corolla Cross. Of course you get leather seats, and this is your gear stick. Sorry, no pedal shifters, but you can do your plus minus, you know, through here, plus minus, and this is in P. Of course there's also traction control. You can turn traction control off, and it has VSC, and of course all the other stuff that goes with safety, like the ABS and the EBD and BA and all that stuff. And the only thing that the G doesn't have versus the V is the collision mitigation, the what you call collision warning, and also the braking. It also doesn't have the lane keep and lane tracing, and it doesn't have dynamic radar cruise control. It has normal cruise control. But anyway, if you're a good driver, you don't need all those things. But you need the things like ABS, which they have. You need the things like blind spot monitoring, which they have. Yeah, the Toyota Safety Sense top of the range items are not available with the G, only with the V. Okay, aircon is digital control. It is single zone. Yeah, this is the temperature control, and this is the fan control. And then you have an eco mode that will save you some fuel, and there's also the aircon vents at the back. So over here is very nice and neat. There is no handbrake, because the handbrake is a foot brake and it's down there. Yeah, it's a step on and step off. Okay, so as far as the dashboard is concerned, it's this is soft, hard, okay, and pretty nice. This is actually soft, but I think it's made of plastic material and textured, so it looks okay to me. Down here there is a phone charger, which is an optional, so you can is a wireless phone charger, right? You have your key button start, and of course you also have your steering controls. Steering size is I think it is a straight swap from the Corolla. Okay, so for sitting position is very good, and there is a lot of height. Yeah, so crossovers are good for people who are tall. Okay, so now let's look at the screen here. Okay, I like this screen because it's big. I don't know the thing. This may be about 10 inches. Not sure. And of course you have home button. Check your language. Oh, American English. Okay, we'll speak like an American right now. Okay, so how do we move? Voice control. Home, and gotta move from here. Okay, and yes, you have your media. So you have your radio and all that. You also have video way. Okay, you gotta connect video here, so you can actually play a video here, but of course not advisable. And you can also view your pictures. Okay, you have to connect to the USB, and also let's look at what else you have. You have your phone connection. This is Android and iPhone friendly. And what else do you have? You have also, you can connect, and the apps are voice command, and also, this is good, your PVM will allow you to look at the surrounding through the camera, what is around the car. Okay, and then that's about it for this screen. Okay, let's move to the back seat. Okay, so we are in the rear seat, and this one is not bad. Okay, of course it's also leather, and you have this center thing here. You can either have it out or in, and you see 3 headrests, so this is actually a 5-seater, but honestly speaking, you'll be comfortable with 4. And one thing good about this vehicle is you can sit 4 or 5 with luggage, because there's no third row. So this is like a car, but a very big boot area at the back. 440 liters, and of course it's extendable. And legroom, this seat is adjusted to my driving position, and you get about 6 inches of room in front of my knee. And of course the back of the seat is concave, so that gives you a bit of room, and yet makes a good enough seat for the front driver and passenger. And of course there's that usual hole underneath where you can put your feet. Okay, so there's the oh my god handle, and oh no, there are 4. Hey, maybe you can save some money, just take away one, because the driver doesn't really need a oh my god handle. But I tell you what I appreciate, the seat belt anchor is adjustable, and view from the back to the front is not bad, because the room here for you to look through to the front is good. And of course the headroom is something that's really great. One more thing I appreciate is of course these aircon vents at the back. There is no control except for open or close, but it's a very much appreciated item, because on a hot day in a country like Malaysia, the back passengers also get some aircon. And of course there are 2 USB ports here for you to charge your phone. Okay, what's missing is the tapau hook. They don't. Oh yes, there's the tapau hook up here, but actually these are what you call coat hangers lah. So there's no real tapau hook. Okay, must tell Toyota we must have tapau hook. Alright, so yes, there's one more thing about this seat. You can sit straight. Okay, the seats actually split and fold, and this is the default position, and this is the recline position. So I'm going to recline my seat. It's all done here. So this is a very useful feature, because the back passenger can actually relax. Okay, so this is the boot area, and as mentioned before, this is a very good piece of tonneau cover, and yeah, I think it is removable. Ah, yes, so you can take this out so that when you flip the seats you won't have this thing there. But okay, let's just leave it outside here for a while. And if you take it out of the car, don't put it on the roadside, because there's a good chance you are going to drive away without it. And okay, this is something that comes from, I think it comes from Malaysia. This is a little plastic cover for you to keep your boot clean. Very thoughtful feature, but we have to take it out because I want to see what's inside here. You have a little shelf there for you to put little knickknacks, and here is the little cardboard cover, covered of course, and inside here you have your tool set in styrofoam, and right down there you have a space saver spare tire. Right, so boot capacity, as I said, is 440 liters, but the seats can be folded over. And down here you have the little hooks. You have hooks there, which allows you to have a cargo net. And yes, there is a very useful little light here that allows you to rummage in the boot at night and not have to worry about you can't see things here. Okay, so that's about it for the Corolla Cross. And well, we don't have the price right now, and I suppose we'll get it on the launch on the 25th. Right now, we are a few days earlier, and we are waiting, or rather there is an embargo on this video. So by the time you see this video, it'll be on the day of launch, and we will be able to give you the price, possibly in a subtitle on that day. Right guys, that's the all-new Toyota Corolla Cross. And the good news is, if you need to buy, click the link below or call this number. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. What about these things?